Hello, students. Today we are going to do another chapter, a very informative chapter from your textbook called the World Heritage Sites. Now, World Heritage Sites, one will find them in the form of natural landscape as well as man made monuments. They are so beautiful and unbelievable that they exist on this planet Earth that one needs to preserve and protect them, not only for ourselves, but also for the next generation. We need to keep their beauty alive. And therefore, this chapter will give us information as to who all are involved in protecting these sites, how do they go about doing it, and today, why are they being endangered? So, let us do this beautiful chapter, World Heritage. A World Heritage is a site determined by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, that is UNESCO, to have significant cultural or natural importance to humanity. As such, the sites are protected and maintained by the International World Heritage Program, which is administered by the UNESCO World Heritage Committee. Because World Heritage sites are places that are significant culturally and naturally. They vary in type but include forests, lakes, monuments, buildings, and sites. So, this paragraph goes on to tell us that UNESCO plays a very important role. Now, I'm sure you've done this in your civics chapter about UNESCO. You know, UNESCO is not only involved in protecting monuments and landscapes, but it plays a wider role. It also goes on to maintain peace among different countries, goes to provide financial and medical aids to those countries which are underdeveloped or in the process of developing. So, UNESCO plays a very important role in different ways, and one is in protecting the heritage sites. So you have the logo out here of UNESCO, and next to it you have of the World Heritage Convention. This is the logo which is used to protect the World Heritage sites. And this paragraph also tells you that these sites are in the form, they vary meaning there is a difference. A lot of different sites are there under the World Heritage. They are in the form of forest and lakes, which are natural, and then you have monuments, buildings, and cities which are man made. So, both are there as you can see even in the picture above. Let us continue now. World Heritage sites can also be a combination of both cultural and natural areas. For example, Mount Hangshan in China is a site with significance to human culture because it played a role in historical Chinese art and literature. The mountain is also significant because of its physical landscape characteristic. So, one example is given out here of a World Heritage Site, that is Hangshan in China, which is also called as the Yellow Mountain. It had for centuries has played a very important role in Chinese art and literature. So many stories, many paintings have depicted this particular mountain, and moreover it has also been given a lot of importance because of its physical landscape, that is the geographical features. Because this particular mountain consists of a lot of trees, very rare trees, especially medicinal trees, which have been there from centuries, hundreds of years back also. Therefore, this particular mountain comes under World Heritage Site. Let's move further. History of World Heritage Site. Now, this particular paragraphs will tell you about why certain monuments or certain natural landscape went on to become World Heritage Site. We just now did about China. Now we are going to do about another heritage site which belongs to Egypt. Although the idea of protecting cultural and natural heritage sites around the world began in the early 20th century, momentum for its actual creation was not until the 1950s. In 1954, Egypt started plans to build the Aswan High Dam to collect and control water from the Nile River. The initial plan for the dam's construction would have flooded the valley containing the Abu Sibyl temples and scores of ancient Egyptian artifacts. To protect the temples and artifacts, UNESCO launched an international campaign in 1959 that called for the dismantling and movement of the temples to higher ground. The project cost an estimated 80 million US dollars, of which 40 million US dollars came from different countries. Because of the project's success, UNESCO and the International Council on Monuments and Sites initiated a draft convention to create an international organization responsible for protecting cultural heritage. Now, this particular page goes on to talk about Egypt. Now, Egypt is a very ancient country, we should not forget that, and therefore it has a lot of heritage sites. And one of them is this very ancient temple called Abu Simbel Temple. And this temple, if you can see in the picture out here, is situated on the bank, or rather, I will say, was situated on the banks of the Nile River. And when Egypt thought of developing its country or making the proper use of the Nile water, that is when they decided to construct the Aswan Dam. Now, by doing so, it would greatly damage the Abu Simbel Temple, which is a heritage site. If you can see, the interiors also is given out here in the picture below. And so, what the government decided was, along with UNESCO's help, it was decided to dismantle the entire monument. Dismantle means with the help of heavy machineries and known people, it was going to be lifted as it is and placed on a higher landscape, so that the water would not affect this, or the dam would not affect this temple. And that is exactly what UNESCO did. And for this, 40 million US dollars came from 50 different countries. How beautiful! To save the heritage site, there were different countries, 50 countries that helped, and they collected this money, and today this temple still exists. Although it is in a little endangered manner, it is crumpling down a little bit, but it still exists. And this is when UNESCO realized that with the help of different countries, many such sites can be saved. So, this is one example that has been given whereby the countries came together of the world to save a heritage sites. Let us continue. The World Heritage Committee. Now, once UNESCO decided it to include even heritage site in it, that's when they decided now how to go on identifying the different sites, and they went on to form a committee for this. Today, the World Heritage Committee is the main group responsible for establishing which sites will be listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The committee meets once a year and consists of representatives from 21 state parties that are elected for 6-year terms by the World Heritage Center's General Assembly. The state parties are then responsible for identifying and nominating new sites within their territory to be considered for inclusion on the World Heritage Site. So there is this committee which takes care of all the heritage sites. There are 21 states which participated in it, are there in it, and these state parties take responsibility, and every year they meet up to discuss whether there are still other heritage sites in the world which probably have not been identified as heritage sites, and should they be included in it. And after every 6 years, the assembly goes on to elect people, to elect countries which will take prior responsibility to do this work. So the UNESCO in one way is bringing all the countries together in helping to preserve and protect these beautiful natural and man-made heritage sites. Becoming a World Heritage Site. Now, there are 5 steps that help in becoming a World Heritage Site. Now, accordingly, this will tell you that these sites are judged to contain natural and cultural heritage around the world, considered to be of outstanding value to humanity. So, the first thing is, when one has to take a particular site as a World Heritage Site, it has to be culturally important, probably even historically important, if it may be. And how is it going to help humanity? Humanity meaning human beings, mankind. To be selected a World Heritage Site must be a somehow unique landmark which is geographically and historically identifiable and has special cultural or physical significance. So, this is the criteria for nominating a particular landscape or a monument as a World Heritage. Types of heritage sites. As of 2009, there are 890 World Heritage Sites that are located in 148 countries. 689 of these sites are cultural and include places like the Sydney Opera House in Australia and the Historic Centre of Vienna in Austria. So the picture over here shows the first picture of the Australian Opera House, and below that you have the Learning Center of Vienna, which is again in Austria. 176 are natural and feature such location as the US Yellowstone, which is given there, and Grand Canyon National Park. 25 of the World Heritage Sites are considered mixed, that is natural and cultural. Peru's Machu Picchu is one of these. Italy has the highest number of World Heritage Sites with 44. India has 36, that is 28 cultural, 7 natural, and 1 mixed. World Heritage Sites. The World Heritage Committee has divided the world's countries into 5 geographical zones, which include Africa, Arab states, Asia Pacific, which includes Australia and Oceania, Europe and North America, and Latin America and the Caribbean. So it is very difficult to divide the heritage sites. Hence, UNESCO has divided it as per the countries. So you have from Africa, which is in one group, then you have the Arab states, you have Asia Pacific, and you have Europe and North America, and finally Latin America. So here are some of the pictures of these natural heritage and man-made sites. Now these are some of the pictures. So like in the category of UNESCO heritage sites which are from Africa, a few are there. There are many, but only a handful have been selected for this video. So this belongs to Africa. Then this belongs to Arab world. These are the natural as well as man-made monumental heritage sites. Then we have from Asia. Of course, Asia has many. There are numerous in India itself. So a few have been selected out here. This belongs to Europe as well as to America. Not many pictures are available. Then we have the Caribbean ones, the heritage sites from Caribbean countries. So out over here you have it. Now, these are all the beautiful sites that we saw, but the sad part is that many of them are in danger today. There are different reasons behind it. Some is because of natural calamities have been destroyed, or because of environmental or weather changes. There are others because of man. We have destroyed certain landscapes. Sometimes it's because of civil wars. Religious wars have destroyed these natural heritages. So, whatever is left today, it has become the responsibility of UNESCO, and it is our responsibility to take care of it so that for the next generation, everything is not lost. World Heritage Sites in danger. Like many natural and historical cultural sites around the world, many World Heritage Sites are in danger of being destroyed or lost due to war, poaching. Poaching is encroaching into the land which doesn't belong to us, natural disasters like earthquakes, uncontrolled urbanizations, wherein we destroy certain landscapes or monuments because construction of railways maybe or roadways maybe, or because of housing problems, heavy tourist traffic, and environmental factors like air pollution and acid rain. World Heritage Sites that are in danger are inscribed on a separate list of World Heritage Sites in danger, which allows the World Heritage Committee to allocate resources from the World Heritage Fund to that site. So the sites which are in danger, they are listed separately so that resources is given. Resources meaning money is given. So there is a separate fund which is kept. So whichever World Heritage Site is in danger and needs a little bit of repair work or taken care of, money is given from this World Heritage Fund. In addition, different plans are put into place to protect and or restore the site. If, however, a site loses the characteristics which allowed for it to be originally included on the World Heritage list, the World Heritage Committee can choose to delete the site from the list. To learn more about World Heritage Sites, one has to visit the World Heritage Center website. Now, what happens is, because of all the different factors, if a certain World Heritage Site has got completely destroyed or has lost its importance to what it was, then automatically UNESCO deletes that particular site from the World Heritage Sites. So that name goes away completely. Now, I have tried to show you some of the pictures below there, whereby you have these sites in endangered form. Similarly, there are these pictures out here which are in the endangered form. There are many which even belong to India, which are in the endangered form, because somewhere we are not taking care of it. Even as tourists, when we go to visit these places, we eat and we throw and we litter the place around. There are people who spit near these monuments. There are many people who scribble on these monuments. It is very, very disheartening to see these things, because they are a heritage which we need to keep for our next generation. They have been built with a lot of love by many great people. The natural landscapes too are the ones which are there to beautify our planet Earth. So it becomes our responsibility to take care of it. So, with this note of advice that let us keep our planet Earth beautiful, let us keep our world heritage protected, I end this chapter. Have a great day.